holdout.
And now it's unmuted, and we are live for this best of 5 here in the Artisans League for the finals. We've got Seraphim, who clawed and chewed and battled their way through Zul'jin and Juice in our first match of the night. Coming up against Glogan, who showed a clinic on both Cho'Gall and Abathur in our second match of the night versus Natural Selection. Seraphim has brought us to Braxis Holdout, and we're going to see some bands come out here straight away. That's right, you're going to see bands in this draft. I am super great at casting. Top tier. They don't pay me enough. So Zarya and Ariel going to be our bands, and just not even pretending like they're going to entertain Cho'Gall as an option this time. So Mad Glogan with the first pick here on Braxis.
Let's save some lives.
And once again, first picking a support in the form of Lieutenant Morales. And when she launched, she was just absolutely my favorite hero. I know that a lot of folks didn't really care for her, and at the time, she wasn't the most interesting and dynamic hero, because when she launched her grenade, you couldn't detonate at will. It just fired, and when it hit something, that's when it exploded. But now you can use it a lot more aggressively. You're not always grenading things away from you or at best to the side. You can shoot it past someone, blow it up, knock them back into your team, and really help with the pursuit rather than just a "oh crap, go away" button. Seraphim taking a lot of time figuring out how they want to respond to this. This was their map selection, so they should have a plan coming in. But as some famous quote said, plans only survive long enough to hit the battlefield and then fail, or something like that. It was a famous quote. A much wiser person than me said it. But sometimes things change once you get into bands and you see the other team's first pick. Gul'dan and Uberak picked up for Seraphim, very strong damage and engaging tool. So everyone's probably been playing HOTS long enough to know that going for Morales is a thing you need to do, and so it's important to get tools that enable you to do that. And Uberak's certainly one of them. Zagara and Muradin the pickups for Mon Glogan, and I'm really curious to see how this plays out, because normally when I play on Braxis, it's a 4v1. You put 4 people in one, and then one solo laner in the other lane. And that has never been Zagara for games I've played. I don't know if the intent is for her to be that person and rotate down as needed, or if she's going to be with the team proper at large, just to provide vision and some siege, some distance damage. But we'll see. We'll see how this shakes out. Tassadar, the band, coming out of Seraphim, so we'll see what. I wonder if they've sussed out something that Mod Glogan might be going for, or if they're just trying to, maybe conceal some of their stealth picks that might be coming up later. But we'll see shortly. Mod Glogan now on the ban, and the ban is Zarya. Tassadar's off the table. Still need a support for Seraphim, and it's worth noting that they've banned 2 supports before selecting one. But they are mostly afraid of Rexxar, who can just absolutely dominate one of those lanes. Either parking Misha in the lane and having Rexxar go snatch the point, or just park Misha on the point and have her just punch anything that comes by. Very, very strong in this map. Certainly one of Rexxar's strongest. We'll see what Seraphim decides to respond with. Taking some time to sort this out. There's probably not any urgency in picking a support anymore. It's unlikely that Mod Glogan would really have some space for some, but instead they are going to pick up D.Va and Genji, and for long extended like knockdown drag out fights like this, D.Va can really start paying off in spades if you know, she's continually allowed to make a mech and lose a mech and make it and lose it, alternating between taking damage and dealing damage, and then Genji there for the follow-up. And that's it's going to be real neat to see if Genji can get those picks onto either Zeratul or Chromie. If he can get the angles and positioning he needs, then that can be an absolutely devastating pick against Mod Glogan. But you know, there's a lot of things in the way. There's the rest of the members of Mod Glogan. There's time traps. There's probably going to be void prisons from time to time. There's a lot that makes this difficult, but they do have plenty of engaging tools. I mean, everybody except Gul'dan right now can just blow right by Muradin with no problem. But last pick here coming out of Seraphim, it's almost certainly going to be a support. If that's the plan, I wonder if it's going to be somebody like Rhaegar or let's see who else. They might need more of a front. They probably got enough of a front line, but now they decide that they need a beefier front line, and Uther is going to be the pick of the day. So that's the draft. It almost has to be Zagara in one lane and everybody else in the other. I guess it could be Muradin, but probably not. Well, maybe it would. That would be if Zagara no longer regens health on creep like she used to, and Muradin can just back away from the fight and get a health bar. So, who knows? We'll see what's coming up here shortly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be loaded into Brax's Holdout.
Facility powering up. We're about to begin.
And we are live, loaded into Brax's Holdout here for this first round of this best of 5 here in Artisans League. For Seraphim on the blue team, we've got DJ Hellscream on Uther, Livco on Gul'dan, Shiggity on Anubarak, a Rubber Duck on D.Va, and Kurenai on Genji.
10 seconds.
And for Mod Glogan on the red team, we've got Sava on Zagara, Stukrab on Chromie, Magus on Muradin, LA on Zeratul, and Nailter on Lieutenant Morales. Gates are down, teams are figuring out where they're going to be laning. Probably no huge mid lane collision like we see in so many other maps, just because these are so far apart, being a 2-lane map that it is. So far, both teams posturing, just trying to get some visibility, figure out where everyone's going to be. Up in the top lane, a lot of damage coming out onto D.Va. Already lost her mech. Trying to get back into the thing of things. And this is a really scary spot for her to be, because you know there's a lot of known damage coming out from Zagara, and then presumably she saw Zeratul hanging out there for a while, but don't know for sure. I suspect that's one of the reasons she's at the low health total she is. Anyway, we do see the rotation from Genji up to deal with that. Got eyes on Zeratul, and so that should disable that threat for a bit. Mech is active for Rubber Duck, so he'll be back in proper fighting form. But Zagara doing a lot of work. Ammo already drained out of this top lane. Genji here to throw some discouragement stars. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, big team fight as Gul'dan and Uther taken down. And the 4-man of Mad Glogan is, I guess the 3.5-man of Mad Glogan is continuing to push. Haven't gotten any shots or damage out, but can really start commanding the lane with this now. Looks like Nubarak took the spell armor talent, which is going to come in real handy against the damage coming out of Chromie. And Seraphim in control of the bottom point, top point in contestation by Rubber Duck and 2 very angry members of Mad Glogan. Is self-destruct going to go? The answer is yes. Rubber Duck trying to get the damage out. Zeratul almost gets taken out and does get taken out by the Genji. So really heads up play from Rubber Duck and Kurenai, getting the double takedown up in the top lane, charging their Zerg wave. And looks like Seraphim is going to start taking firm control of this map here in game 1. And I don't think the 3 members here really can dislodge Shiggity, what with his spell armor and just big health pool. Same can't be said for Kurenai though, and Gul'dan, as both are falling very low. But they are able to hang on long enough to get a fully charged Zerg wave pushing down through the bottom lane. And so we'll see if Seraphim can capitalize on this. Zeratul and Zagara up in the top lane, not able to contribute to the defense. There's not a whole lot of damage available for Mad Glogan just yet. Trying to get the takedown on D.Va to deny that experience, and they do achieve it. They get exactly what they were looking for. So it looks like they're going to be content trading this fort, or at least a large chunk of this fort, for the fort in the top lane. Because those are a lot of Hydralisks, but Zagara's got some too. Guardian's starting to be in range, do some work. There's not a whole lot, again, that's going to chunk him down. Chromie's W, probably the only very strong tool that'll be available. But they are able to preserve the fort, and the top fort stands as well. So injured, but not broken.
Zerg waves defeated. Resetting planes as per protocol.
So big engagements from all that. Seraphim behind in takedowns, but able to get takedowns when they needed them the most. Zeratul trying to chunk out some damage, dancing around a Rubber Duck, trying to get in hits where he can. LA in hot pursuit, saying, "I'm not done hitting people with this shiny green blade of mine." Merc camps grabbed for both teams for their bruisers. Probably just going to clash in the middle here, not for a whole lot. It's worth noting that the Firebat siege camp is not the Firebat, the Hellbat siege camp spawns so fast that there's almost no reason to not take it if you have the opportunity to. It's not like others where you want to coordinate it with timing and make sure it's pushing when the enemy's not there. You just grab it. Just grab it whenever, and it'll be alright. A lot of damage coming out onto Sava. Is he going to escape? Not quite. Last minute dive from Kurenai, and that's the power of Genji, just extending the range that the opponent can kill from. And that's, speaking of that range extending, Zeratul taking a lot of damage. Do we see another Swift Strike? Don't need it. Shady dives in and just blows up Zeratul, just absolutely massacring this top lane. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, D.Va is going to get likely taken out here from Team Muradin, Chromie, Morales. And so both teams just content to trade. So you know what? You're destroying our bottom lane? Fine, we'll destroy your top lane. And that said, it's been a very symmetric map, or very symmetric game so far. In fact, both forts probably going to fall just within seconds of each other. Top one falls. Bottom one falls shortly thereafter. And so these teams seem fairly well matched up against each other. Does Seraphim notice this this Zeratul? Looks like the answer is no. They are gonna. He is going to elude capture this day. Critical difference though is this Merc camp. Well, I guess it's just a Raven. It's not a whole thing. So a whole lot of ignoring each other going on this map. Both teams just happy to own their half of the world and leave it be. Merc camp stolen from Mod Glogan's side of the board. Seraphim getting it down, pushing it top. Critical difference though is that heroics are now online for Mod Glogan, and they're not going to be active for Seraphim for a hot minute. And with that, Mod Glogan is going to take the full Zerg wave. Rubber Duck in position, trying to set up for a big self-destruct. Can he find the angle? Hasn't found it yet. Thinks it's better to save the mech and try and use it for positioning. And there it goes. Bullies everybody off the point. Self-destruct is deployed. It's going to be very defensive and save everybody trapped into Void Prison. Also, critical grenade there from Morales, just moving that explosion just outside of a radius. It's an interaction that not everybody knows about. It can really catch you off guard, especially if it goes the wrong way. Dragonblade is deployed. That should be the end of Zagara if Swift Strike comes in. It is. And Seraphim continues to apply pressure directly to the Zeratul, and they get the takedown as well. Muradin trying to hark back, can't quite get there as well. Medevac is deployed just for safety. See Genji rotating the top, try and get that Zerg wave back and active online. Meanwhile, the rest of Seraphim finishing up down here in the bottom lane to get this fort and take a structure lead. And critically, an experience lead. They now lead by a level with their Zerg wave charging. However, a lot of their members are on fairly low health, so they're going to have to allow Mod Glogan to reinitiate on the points. They should be able to start charging their Zerg wave now. But at least Seraphim have at least a 50% wave. It beats 6 Zerglings coming out. In fact, they might even be able to reinitiate here on the top, and they will interrupt the charge here. Zerg wave for Mod Glogan at 78%. Medevac arrives to deliver a Morales, and Anubarak arrives to deliver himself to Morales. Damage comes pouring out. Genji all over the Fair Lieutenant. Can she escape? No. Swift Strike will finish her off. Kurenai using Swift Strike just very expertly to get where he needs to go. Gets 2 takedowns once again. You see the takedown coming out on a Magnus. Is he going to be able to escape? Looks like the answer is no. A Rubber Duck charging in at the last second. We see stasis coming out from Chromie. Is she going to be able to escape from this? Slowing Sands getting close, but not able to dissuade that Genji. Meanwhile, Anubarak heading down to the bottom to complete the charge. Very likely for Seraphim here. Wave up to 60%. I think Mod Glogan, if they made a break for it, could make it. It is awfully close though. Zerg wave up to 86, 88, 90. Can he get the interrupt? Yes, Zeratul interrupts at 96%, and so with that, Seraphim is denied the charge right now, but that might be in their favor. They're still at fairly low health across the board, and if it were to trigger now, it might be difficult to get. Meanwhile, Mod Glogan able to steal the top shrine. Lieutenant Morales does get her medevac destroyed and summarily taken down, and fairly equal Zerg waves for both teams. I think Seraphim got a 90-something percent, Mod Glogan finished with 100, so not a world of difference. The only thing of note is that anyway, Zerg wave from Mod Glogan at the gates of Seraphim's bottom keep. Self-destruct is deployed partially to clear some of the Zerg wave, and partially to just refill her health pool, and partially to switch her into deal damage mode. So D.Va definitely showing her strengths on this map for that reason, but both waves cleaned up pretty quickly without dealing a great deal of damage.
Yes. Nice work.
And back into the Maw. Level 13 talents available for Seraphim. They're going to have an advantage for a little under a minute if they can find the advantage and get the pick on someone. But instead, it looks like they're going to go for the steal on Mod Glogan's Merc Camp. Zeratul and Creep scouted it out, trying to get some damage in, but not enough to prevent the theft. And Seraphim not quite sure where to go now. They're split up for a little bit, but it looks like they decide to try and help this Merc Camp along. Meanwhile, Mad Glogan have some Hellbats pushing up in the top lane. That might be enough to clear up that fort if left uncontested for a little bit, but that fort's probably already written off in Seraphim's ledger anyway, so not the biggest of loss. Zagara pushing up in the top lane, trying to evade the imminent rotation of Seraphim, and does so successfully. All in all, not a whole lot of action on the map right now. Most of the mercenary camps are away. Zeratul trying to keep some vision on Seraphim just to see what they're doing. And this is a fairly strong timing from Seraphim. This camp will be pushing while the objective is up, and Magus taking a lot of damage, but Slowing Sand's able to help keep him out of harm's way long enough for Dr. Morales to give him a nice top off. Divine Shielded Genji swipes at not a whole lot of folks. They do manage to get Zagara before Zagara goes into the medevac, saving only Morales, getting the double takedown. And just absolute dominance coming out of Seraphim in this mid-section of the game, just consistently getting 2 for nones. And that's gonna give them a massive advantage. Also of note, it hasn't come up yet, but having Genji on this particular map with the way the boss attacks means that your team can just mow it down very quickly if you so choose. That deflect sends all that damage straight back at the boss, and that happens very quickly. But doesn't seem like that's going to be the order of the day yet. They are looking for damage, and they are coming into the bottom lane real hard. One of the towers has fallen, another one at risk, but will stand for the moment. But the other benefit from this is Seraphim's pushing the bottom lane so that the Zerg wave at their backs can just run straight up to the keep itself without any real resistance. They're already there. They're preventing Mad Glogan from getting a favorable position to clean this up. And there's a very high chance this keep is fallen from this. And so now's a really dangerous time for Mad Glogan. They're down in talent advantage. They're down 2 levels. They've got a Zerg wave coming in at their core. And if they surrender a couple takedowns, this could put them in a really, really dangerous position. But so far, they've managed to hang on fairly well. Muradin fairly low. Chromie does wind up falling, as does Zeratul. And I think that's going to do it. Zagara for the cherry on top. And so game 1's going to go to Seraphim here on Varaxis Holdout. It was really, really back and forth then, but just absolutely stunning Genji play coming out of Seraphim, and that really turned the tide for a good chunk of that match. So we will be right up here for game 2 rather in this best of 5. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to take a quick break to grab a beverage, and I will be right back. Stay tuned for some more Heroes of the Storm action.
Cursed Hollow.
And we are live, loaded into the draft for Game 2 of this best of 5. Seraphim leads 1-0, and they are being taken to Cursed Hollow by Mad Glogan, who's looking to equalize. So it's worth noting that both teams played on Cursed Hollow in their original series to get to the finals, and both of them won very convincingly. So this should be a really a high octane match. I think the odds are fairly low of seeing another core being finished by Abathur, but you know, who knows? Weirder things have happened. We'll see. Alright, Leeming the ban from Seraphim, and Mad Glogan responding with a ban from Uther. And neither team prioritizing globals nearly as hard as in previous matches. Falstad, Dahaka, still very much active on the map. I guess it's worth noting, but I didn't realize Morales technically counted as global in the previous match. So Mad Glogan still showing the acknowledgement of that, the potential of having somebody that could just be somewhere on the map. Genji picked up once again by Seraphim.
Reckoning is at hand.
Was it great effect last match, but we'll see if Mad Glogan has a response from that, having both seen its effect in the previous game, and since its first pick, they've got a whole 5 picks to respond to it. So Teriel can definitely be one of those Genji stoppers by just painting the ground yellow underneath them and saying, you know what, you're just not going to hurt us, you're not going to stop us, and now you're in the middle of us. So you didn't get that kill you're hoping for, we can turn on you. That's part of the Teriel package. So the other part of the Teriel package is just judgmenting Genji and stunning him where he stands. So either option could be good. We'll have to kind of see how the rest of things shape up, but Teriel's your hero. I've been learning a bit myself here lately. He's been just an absolute bucket load of fun, and I love the opportunity to get to watch one in action and kind of see, you know, get some tips, get some pointers on my own play. Next pick's coming out from Seraphim. Trying to figure out what they want to do to try to complement this Genji in the face of Teriel Tassadar, and they're going to start looking at some of those globals. Dahaka, the pick for Seraphim, as well as Lieutenant Morales, for a hefty amount of healing. And I don't know if that's in keeping future picks in mind, or just to make sure Genji's always topped off before he goes diving in, or to deny it from Mad Glogan since they picked her last game. It's I don't know, I'm not quite sure what to make of that pick, because it is at risk in the face of Teriel, who's already pretty good at getting into a backline. But Mad Glogan doesn't seem to think they need a whole lot more utility diving into somewhere, banning an Uberak. So we'll see what they how they go about completing this. Ban coming out of Seraphim. Once again, Mad Glogan needs a lot of damage, and there's a lot of damage in the game. So it's all kind of comes down to what are you comfortable with taking away Oh, I guess that's true too. They are banking pretty heavily on Tassadar for supporting, so maybe that's a better way to go. Seraphim thinking about Malfurion or Ariel. And if I was the Genji player, I would be campaigning pretty hard on Malfurion, because it just takes one bad route to ruin your day. But Ariel's going to be the takeaway instead, opting to try and just limit the actual healing output of Mad Glogan. Try and win that way. And so the pick's going to be Illidan, so Seraphim's going to have to do a lot of work to try and keep people safe, and the Vala as well. So a pretty threatening amount of damage here coming out of Mad Glogan. Just check my mic, make sure it's not muted. It's not muted, still good. Final picks coming out of Seraphim, and they're very fragile right now, except for Dahaka, who has essentially 3 health bars. What with his trait and adaptation once he hits 10. But we'll see what comes up. They probably need somebody who can stay back with Morales and provide some CC from range, if there is any such thing. Somebody who can influence the fight from a distance, but stay back and help protect Morales if Illidan or Tyrael just decide to go crazy. Time running low. We'll see what Seraphim comes up with. And it's Varian Greymane, so they are going to be able to just take somebody, lock them in place for a second. It's actually a really good setup for the Dahaka grab. Both the taunts and the slows make it much easier for Dahaka to pick up somebody. And there's a lot of somebodies that can be picked up that die real fast. I mean, Illidan, outside of his outside of being immune to basic attacks for a while and gaining health when he attacks, he doesn't have that much health. And if you can mow him down with Greymane and Genji quick enough, you can really capitalize on that. And I really wonder if this is going to be a Bloodlust team. They got a lot of auto attackers. I think this could be Bloodlust. I think there's a really good chance that Mad Glogan just busts out the Bloodlust here, which would be great. It's been a while since, you know, Bloodlust's heyday of Earthquake plus Bloodlust equals win, but you know, sometimes the stars line up, and I think Mad Glogan's got what they need to pull that off this time. So we'll see if they elect to go that route. Ancestral's never bad, but it's always nice to see something a little different. And we're live, loaded into Cursed Hollow for Game 2 of this series. On the red side for Mad Glogan, we've got Sava on Vala, Nailter on Rhaegar, Stu Crab on Tassadar, LA on Illidan, and Magus on Tyrael. And on the blue side, for Seraphim, currently leading 1-0, we've got DJ Hellscream on Dahaka, Shiggity on Varian, a Rubber Duck on Greymane, Lyro on Lieutenant Morales, and Kurenai on Genji.
2, 1. Let the battle begin.
Gates are down, teams are headed along a path in the middle of some creepy woods towards another team that's doing the same thing. And they found each other, and now they're thinking about what to do. Tyrael decides to spin, Rubber Duck decides to walk back and forth, Genji decides to deflect, and otherwise they're just looking at each other across no man's land. And a little bit of a Dahaka coming in at the last second to make sure he doesn't miss any of this bottom wave here, and he's got some friends as Genji and Morales come as well. So weird split from the team so far. Looks like we've got 3-man on the bottom. Greymane v Tyrael in the mid lane, and Varian v Illidan in the top, although not for long as Illidan comes down to give a Rubber Duck some problems, and he is going to barely get to safety, but critically isn't able to escape the tower, so bit of a miscalculation there from Mad Glogan, as does suffer the takedown from those towers. That's going to give Shiggity a chance to really start scooping up experience up in the top lane. Meanwhile, down in the bottom, a lot of damage coming out onto DJ Hellscream. Under a Morales beam, is he going to be able to get to safety? Looks like the answer is yes, the whole team will. 2-minute mark. Siege camps are active for both teams. We should see some rotations fairly soon to see which team's going to win that that siege camp gamble. Both teams fairly well covering each lane. We see Illidan coming back up the top. Might miss 1 or 2 of the minions, but manages to catch most of them, so not the biggest deal. And it looks like Seraphim is going to win round 1 with the tribute spawning in the bottom, so that siege camp up at the top is going to keep Illidan delayed for a little bit. And so with that, a 3v3 at the side of the tribute, Greymane coming in as well, so Seraphim is enjoying numbers. So it's just a matter of how long Mad Glogan can delay this, because while this whole thing's going on, Illidan's also catching them up experience up in the top lane, but a large chunk of damage coming out onto Stew Crab does have to phase shift away, and Livco will complete the channel this time and bring them 1-0. Meanwhile, Siege Camp just reaching the gates of Seraphim's fort. And a lot of damage here from both Rhaegar and Vala, so it's not the easiest thing in the world for DJ Hellscream to just go in there and clean this up. He does manage to scoop up Rhaegar. Grenade just a little bit overshot, but he probably wouldn't have died anyway. Tower's out of ammo now, so not a lot of damage here in the bottom. Siege Giant still going to work real hard. Front wall down for Seraphim's bottom fort. Genji does have to come down to assist, just to clean up these Siege Giants who just now get taken down. Meanwhile, I don't know what's going on here, but somehow Shiggity has invaded the bruiser camp of Mad Glogan. Is he gonna survive long enough? A Rubber Duck comes here. Magus will complete the channel, and I'm not sure what sequence of events led to that, but that was a weird spot to be in. Could have been a really interesting takeaway for Seraphim, but instead they're going to lose Varian and Greymane. But Seraphim clearly not afraid to show some aggression and try and make some plays here. So if we look around the map for the structures here a bit, we know that bottom lane is pretty firmly in Mad Glogan's advantage. The fountain's still up though, so that's that could provide an advantage for Seraphim, but I think it's guaranteed that the next tribute's going to be in top, so that might not be as much of a factor as it could be. Tongue whiffs a little bit. Illidan goes ham on to Lieutenant Morales. Will she be able to escape this dire situation? Not quite. Gets bodied straight into the fort. Dahaka gets taken down as well. Meanwhile, across the map, Greymane and Tyrael duking it out. Tribute spawns up in the top, and Mad Glogan should be able to take this fort and
Has destroyed a fort.
and potentially claim this this tribute. Well, no one seems to be making a play on it just yet. Now that's an exciting call. Heroics online for Mad Glogan. Seraphim underleveled and undermanned in order to challenge it. So we see a small delay coming out of Shiggity, but all it's likely going to amount to. Meanwhile, boss taken for Seraphim down in the bottom lane. I really like. Or I'm sorry, boss taken. Seraphim's boss taken by Mad Glogan down in the bottom lane. So really just applying pressure to the map, not giving Seraphim a chance to really form an assault, prevents them from properly laning and getting up to level 10 as fast as they could. Meanwhile, Rubber Duck forward quite a bit. Rhaegar comes in, Tyrael and the whole squad, spelling certain doom for the Worgen of the north, south. I don't know where the Worgens are from, but they spelled certain doom for him. You know, what did Illidan take? Metamorphosis. No crazy hunts from across the moon, but Seraphim should be able to pick up this this tribute if they can get on it pretty soon. Boss picked up for Mad Glogan, but I think they're pretty happy with this exchange. It doesn't represent a curse. And they've got what's currently an uncontested boss pushing down in the top lane. Force wall keeping Shiggity from getting to safety. He slowly trods his way. Can he get there? Protection's up. Last second save from Morales is going to keep him in top fighting conditions. So excellent save from the Morales there. Safeguard was largely instrumental. DJ Hellscream has to burrow to avoid the big damage, but a huge chunk of damage coming out onto Tyrael, the Ancestral, just a hot second too late. And so Seraphim enjoys a 1-for-0 and is continuing to push as Genji start doing Genji stuff when teams with low health starts to retreat. And so very nice turnaround from Seraphim. The fort up in the top took some damage from the boss, but Greymane was able to clean that up. And Seraphim was able to get a pair of takedowns, which should actually give them a very strong argument to win this first curse. We see the engagement coming in from Mad Glogan. Tassadar not at the fight just yet. It's currently a 5v4, but they seem to be holding their own. A massive sanctification really preserves Mad Glogan's health total, but can LA escape? Yes, but and gets the variant as well. And Seraphim just melting under the damage, but a 2-for-2. Make that a 3-for-2 in favor of Mad Glogan. So Morales will fall as well. Looks like Genji is going to be able to escape. So this curse will go to Mad Glogan. Kurenai trying to get the delay and deny as best as he can, but Tyrael says this game is over. It's time for you to retreat.
You shall know my wrath. Red team has destroyed a fort.
All the lanes starting to push in pretty hard from Mad Glogan. Curse active for another 50 seconds. Seraphim trying to get the takedown on Tassadar, but he's notoriously tricky to get the takedown on. Illidan goes directly ham onto the team. Taunt goes down onto Vala, but Shield is going to keep her in top fighting condition, back to full health already. Lieutenant Morales not able to get the medevac off quite in time, does get taken down. Shiggity as well gets taken down. And can a Rubber Duck escape from this? Remember, during a curse, keeps don't fire, so this is a free pursuit. Somewhat from Mad Glogan. So a 3-for-0 so far. They'll have no problem getting this this mid keep. They've got large waves mounting on bottom keep as well, and they're saying, you know what, we've got everything we need right here. Let's go end this right now. Shields down, Core already down to 60%. Sanctification gives them plenty of time to continue to pour damage. And it looks like they've got everything they need. Core below 10% and then 0. So good really strong position from Mad Glogan as they equalize with 1-1. Alright, so we'll get Game 3 set up here shortly, but that was... It's hard to know what really... It wasn't like previous games we've seen from Mad Glogan where it was like, oh man, the Abathur did tons of work, or oh man, that Shogal Ariel really just bullied everyone the whole game. This was a much better example of like everybody like being equally involved and contributing and really making this a concerted team effort. Like, you know, Vala alone couldn't have won that game. Illidan alone couldn't have won that game. Tyrael alone couldn't have won that game. It was, you know, everybody operating in sync and communicating well that really produced the victory there. So, a really strong and really fast showing from Mad Glogan here in Game 2. So we'll get set up for Game 3 here shortly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Game 3, Tomb of the Spider Queen, coming up next. So we saw Tomb of the Spider Queen in the very first match of the night between Seraphim and Zul'jin and Juice. Seraphim came away victorious in that one. And I don't remember a whole lot from that match in particular. I think it was... I seem to recall it being a fairly long game, but it feels like ages ago. That was like 6 or 7 games ago. I don't even remember what... I don't even remember which heroes were on each team, so I'm just going to not talk out of my butt anymore and continue with the current game, where we see Mad Glogan with the ban on Uther and Seraphim with the ban on Ariel. A lot of hate on support these days. But Gul'dan the pick for Mad Glogan. Really good at wave clearing, and this is the wave cleary of wave clear maps. It's all about getting them gems and getting out. Moving on to the next one. And Malfurion and Uberak the picks for Seraphim. Should be really well set up to enable whatever may follow that, and that's going to be 2 picks and 2 bans away, so it's important to get, it's like working out. You want to make sure you got a good core, and then, you know, work on your glutes or your quads or your seps of many sorts. Diablo and Genji the pick for Mad Glogan, and really strong ability to just keep people in place and you know, really expose them to damage from Gul'dan and Genji there. So good Diablo's a weird pick. It's one of those one-way trains where you pick Diablo and you win the fight, or Diablo dies. And you know, Diablo dying isn't necessarily the end of the world. Sometimes he comes right back, but it's a fight you're looking to. Diablo's a character you're looking to start fights with. No one likes to be protected by Diablo. It's not a task suiting of his position. I don't remember playing Diablo 1, 2, or 3 and being like, oh man, there's Diablo. He's really like making sure I don't hit that guy behind him. He's always coming straight for you. Morales the ban from Seraphim, and that would be a real strong asset to Gul'dan, among other things. I mean, he can already refill his mana on a whim, but his life depletes pretty quick through that, and so being able to just restore his life real quick kind of makes him unstoppable. He can just fire spells willy-nilly. Tyrael the ban for Mad Glogan. I guess they don't want to give Seraphim any more tools to quickly pursue a hero. Or maybe they're worried about sanctification. Anyway, we'll see what Seraphim decides to walk away with. They've got the hammer for a pick. Like they have the hammer as in like a curling term, not like Sergeant Hammer, who probably wouldn't be a great pick here. But Thrall and Chromie going to be the picks for Seraphim, and so once again, it's can Chromie keep herself safe enough from Genji through positioning and traps and support from her allies? And if so, I think Seraphim's going to be able to just unload damage. But if not, then that's going to be, you know, the pick of the day for Mad Glogan. So we'll see how things come out. But Leoric going to be the pick for Mad Glogan. First time I think we've seen him tonight. Got a couple good drain targets in the form of a Nubarak, and I think Thrall has enough health to make it work. But if nothing else, just being able to add to the wave clear machine is probably good enough reason to pick Leoric. And then Rhaegar to top it off. I definitely don't think we'll be seeing Bloodlust here. I think this is strictly ancestral. Which is a shame, but you know, one day I'll keep hoping. Last pick coming up for Seraphim. Could really go a bunch of different ways, and they decide to go the diva way. They decide to embody the pro gamer that they aspire to be. So man, looking at this, I honestly have no idea how this one's going to go. Both teams have excellent offensive initiation. I think that Mad Glogan needs that to work more, so maybe we'll see Seraphim play a little more defensively, but honestly have no idea. I thought that, you know, a team with a couple warriors and like no assassins wouldn't get a whole lot of kills, and all they did was get kills. So, you know, who knows? Who knows in this wild, crazy world of HOTS? And we are live, loaded into Game 3 of this best of 5. Both teams at 1 win apiece, looking to get themselves ready for match point. Here on Seraphim, on Anubarak, we've got Shiggity, DJ Hellscream piloting Thrall, a Rubber Duck piloting Diva, Kurenai piloting Malfurion, and Livco on Chromie. And for Mad Glogan on the red team, we've got Stu Crab on Gul'dan, Magus on Diablo, Sava on Leoric, L on Genji, and Nailiter on Rhaegar. Gates are down, teams are headed towards each other in, I guess, a nice orthogonal walkway with some stones and some smoke. And a little bit of damage coming out onto Magus, but nothing to write home about, nothing a quick chain heal won't fix. Well, Genji trying to get himself in position for a flank, looking for the angle hasn't quite found yet, and Seraphim just bullying their way straight through middle, trying to do some damage. Meanwhile, in the bottom, a lot of damage coming down onto a rubber duck. I'm not sure how Drain Hope works on a machine, but there you have it. It's a game. It's a video game, and that's how the video game works. 4-man rotation from Seraphim up in the top lane, leaving D.Va to handle the bottom. Meanwhile, Mad Glogan's going to do much the same thing with Leoric, and I think Leoric is going to win that exchange all day long. He's got better wave clear than D.Va, and I think Drain Hope probably will make him increase health even through a D.Va basic attack. So he should, I think he's going to be very solidly in position for that. At least while D.Va's in a mech. Which has just ended. Ruberduck in pilot mode, trying to figure out how to get herself a new machine. The rotations just keep coming out from both teams between top and mid. Meanwhile, here in the bottom, Ellie come down for the engagement. Swift Strike will be able to swiftly end D.Va here in the bottom lane, and that will mess up the rotations from Seraphim in between mid and top for a little bit. Although Magus at fairly low health, almost the victim of a Chromie drop here. A lot of damage pouring out onto L, and Genji is going to fall. Fortunately for him, wasn't carrying too terribly many gems, but still... now it's Mad Glogan who's on the back foot. Oh, and Rhaegar in harm's way. Does Seraphim have the pursuit? Doesn't look like it quite do. Magus doing a good job doing that thing I said he would never be doing. But there you have it. Expert casting advice. In the mid lane, we got 2v2. Just a little bit of brawling and scrumming. Not a big ball of heroes really anywhere. Just everyone's kind of spread out between top and mid. We see teams start to condense here now that the fight's going on. Shiggity taking a good bit of damage. Rubber Duck coming up to help as well. Self-destruct is deployed. Looks like everyone is going to get outside of the radius. Ellie in hot pursuit of a Rubber Duck. Diablo gets taken out. Rhaegar with a lot of gems gets stunned. Can Seraphim get the pursuit? No. Elter able to collect most of those gems and walk away. Both teams just shy of a turn in so far. Oh, Leoric gets taken down. It looks like by a Chromie stun, and that was a lot of gems that were surrendered. Genji gets taken out as well. It looks like he was followed by an auto attack, I guess, but now only 25 gems available for Mad Glogan, and more importantly, Seraphim has an excellent opportunity to get the turn in without worrying about Genji for a hot second. Big damage coming out to Stu Crab there. Able to take it from another one. A big root is going to send him straight down hell. I guess hell is the thing. And it looks like we've got some connection issues, so we'll hopefully that gets resolved pretty soon. But that might have been one of the reasons, because I think Elvco is I think that was the Gul'dan player. No, completely wrong. Not even the same team. But we'll hopefully get this sorted out here shortly. One thing I learned is I don't think if I type anything, I don't think the players can see this, which is annoying, but I guess that's how things go. It would seem that is correct. So hopefully these teams will sort things out here shortly. Um, not a whole lot to talk about. Not even really sure where both teams are experience-wise. I'm pretty sure they were close, but I imagine Seraphim has a bit of a lead. What with the takedown advantage they've got. Actually, they have hit level 7. Looks like it's pretty recently. So they're at least that far ahead. We'll check in on structures here for a bit. Looks like bottom lane is pretty well evenly matched. Both sets of towers down a lot of shots, but nothing much otherwise. That's no good. Hopefully they do figure it out. I know reconnecting to HOTS games in progress is not the easiest thing in the world, but hopefully they can sort it out. We're pretty far in to try to replay this. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, or playing with the bot, because if you can't reconnect, those are like the two choices. So we'll see how things sort out. Up in the top lane, most of the shots down on the Seraphim side of the board, and I'm gonna hop to Discord for just a second to see if see what we're supposed to do if this happens. So either way, some pretty strong sportsmanship all the way around. Mad Glogan offering to remake rather than continuing with the bot. Seraphim saying, you know what, this is here, this is us. We'll play with the bot. So trying to sort it out, trying to figure out the best solution. I don't think anybody would be happy. I don't think anyone is completely happy with either option, but it looks like we are going to be remaking, and we'll restart. I guess neither team had a commanding advantage yet, so this isn't. I guess this is the most fair, because right now I think Seraphim might have had a bit of an advantage, so them surrendering that to go back to a neutral game is probably the best option. So good on both teams for figuring that out.
fight to my last breath.
Alright, so we are loaded in for part 2 of our Tomb of the Spider Queen match here in Chair League. Not Chair League, Artisans League. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, force of habit. I'm tired. It's late. Artisans League. Ugh. Need some Diet Coke. I think it is caffeine. Pretty sure Diet Coke is caffeine. Alright, we are back once again. Tomb of the Spider Queen, DJ Hellscream, Thrall, Shiggity, Anubarak, Kurenai, Malfurion, a Rubber Duck, Diva, Livco, Chromie, Matt Glogan, Red Team, Stew Crab, Gul'dan, Ele, Genji, Sava, Leoric, Nailter, Rhaegar, Magus, Diablo.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Gates, down, Destiny, imminent, fighting, yes, action, go. Alright, so when we last left, both teams were around level 7, somewhere between 6 and 7. Gul'dan had just suffered a takedown. I think Seraphim had a bit of momentum, but not an insurmountable amount by any means. But Rubber Duck is going to lose her mech for a hot minute. Magus taking a lot of damage. You don't get to carry your souls over from game to game, so we will start back at 0. And so that means his health pool is not what he's aspiring to. Rubber Duck almost fully charged on the mech, just chunking down damage. Also, some neat interaction there. I think that if you are in pilot mode as Diva and you get hit with Drain Hope and you summon a mech, I think it cancels it. Thematically, I guess that makes sense. Big CC down onto Nailter. Response from his team is going to get him out of harm's way. So good response from Matt Glogan there. You did see the quick wave clear with that Chromie on Seraphim. Really like the angry clouds. It seems like such a simple thing because we already had clouds, but I tell you, that really makes all the difference. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, a big machine is shooting at some spiders. And now it's a machine that doesn't have much hope. Back in the top lane. Both teams just well rotating, although Seraphim somehow managed to pick up a lot more gems than Mad Glogan. I don't know if it's a rotation issue or a zoning issue. I'm not sure what it is, but they've got about 7 more gems in hand than Mad Glogan for some reason. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Genji rotates down to continue applying some pressure to a Rubber Duck, but able to get to safety nicely. Oh, but here comes the engagement hard into the mid lane. Entire complement of Mad Glogan looking for that pick, looking for that takedown. Can't quite get anybody isolated. A Rubber Duck kind of low, but again, that's only half a kill, and you just increase damage for a bit. Will a Rubber Duck get to safety? It is able to burst. Does get demeched, but have plenty of targets to shoot at. Should fix that straight away. And now as both teams approach the 50 mark, it is Mad Glogan who has the gem lead, but not for long as Seraphim secures a takedown against Rhaegar. And that is going to give them the last push they need to get over 50 gems in hand. And so now's the hard question. You got the gems, that's all well and good. Can you turn them in? And that's not the easiest problem to solve. Ellie looking for an escape route, finds it, able to swift strike to safety. Should get the delay here on Shiggity, carrying the 25 gems, which does represent a turn in. So if he can get this, which he will, this will represent the first turn in of the game. And will Ellie escape this? A lot of damage, just misses the bullseye from Chromie. It's of note, it's easy to forget when you're watching the cast, but players don't get to see where that Chromie strike lands, so good sense from Magnus being throwing around an exploding mech like it's a child's toy, trying to prevent some of the damage onto the fountain and the bottom tower, which I think he succeeded, so good heads-up play from Magus there. Big push coming in from Seraphim here in the mid. Spider will go down just outside the wall, but Rhaegar nailed her trying to escape. Diablo pushes Anubarak a little bit closer, but no stuns available. Nailter will escape. Spiders get cleaned up in fairly short order. No significant damage done, and somehow through all that, Nailter does get taken down. Bullseye comes down, doesn't quite take out Magus, but Seraphim should be able to finish up this mid fort here without too much issue. But there's not a whole lot of gas left in the tank. Shiggity very low on mana, DJ Hellscream also very low, Malfurion very low. So it's really just time to head back, lick the wounds, and either tap or just hearth back. Or maybe put some punishment on this Leoric. That's also a very, very fine plan. Because come to think of it, he's carrying 27 gems that no one is in position to recover, but that does mean Mad Glogan will be able to take this opportunity and just bank a lot of the gems they do have. I know, Livco a little bit out of position here, courtesy of your unfriendly neighborhood Magus. Just putting her directly in harm's way. 3 gems short on the side of Mad Glogan. Chromie's still down for another 10 seconds. And they need to try and get this turned in pretty quickly. They are walking into a heroic advantage pretty soon for Seraphim. So they should either turn in real fast or wait until their heroics are online so they can, really push without fear of walking into those heroics. And it looks like Rubber Duck's going to do that for them. Heroics now online. Mad Glogan trying to get the turn in now. If they turn in now, they should be able to get heroics by the time the spiders are in position to do some damage. So this isn't this is pretty good timing for Mad Glogan if they can get it. Rubber Duck at fairly low health, trying to get a good position for the self-destruct. Does go off. Should hit the bottom tower and the fountain, but doesn't get through the shield. Meanwhile, Thrall in a really rough spot, trying to get away from Diablo and Leoric, two very difficult heroes to escape from, and it doesn't look like he's going to be successful. Twilight Dream almost spells the end of Leoric, but not quite. Livco slowing Sans Magus into a really bad spot. But the distraction is enough to get the Red Web Weaver turn in, although I guess Diablo had his souls up, so he will be able to join the fight straight away. Rubber Duck taking a lot of damage here in the mid lane. Spider already at the gate, wave charging, and mech should drop any instant now. No, looks like it's gonna stand for just a bit. But Thrall dealing with the top Spider. Spider almost gone as is. Really solid stall there from Chrome and being caught by the Entomb, but really no damage on her. Great defensive posturing there. Meanwhile, Kurenai able to escape, maybe trying to dodge that last shot from Glogan. Can't quite do it. Big Ancestral onto Genji, and he will likely get a kill or two. Yes, gets the kill onto Thrall. And Spider's defeated, but the aggression is by no means completed as Ellie escapes with a sliver of health. And Mad Glogan work to make their exit, getting a 2 for nothing and almost a 4. Just the barest sliver of health. Meanwhile, both teams almost with enough gems in hand to complete the turn-in. D.Va stunned out of the channel, so that will be a takedown for Mad Glogan there. Also, D.Va not carrying a tremendous amount of gems, but that does mean Seraphim no longer has enough to get the turn-in. Level 13 advantage for Mad Glogan. They've got about 10 seconds before D.Va's back on the board. Not really enough time to do anything super crazy. We do see Genji and Leoric dealing with this Merc camp down in the bottom lane. Should be active here shortly. D.Va coming back into the fight. We see what looks to be a 4v3 shaping up here in the mid lane, although Genji is always lurking somewhere, ready to strike at a moment's notice. Damage come pouring out on the Magus. Has got should be pretty low on souls. I think the last time he died wasn't that long ago, and I think he had an instant respawn there. But Mad Glogan now have enough to get the turn in. This Leoric turn in would leave them 1 gem short. So they'll need to get another one. Huge fear onto Malfurion. I don't think there's any way he's getting out of this one. So that the absence of that Twilight Dream and the roots and the heal would really hamper Seraphim's ability to take an engagement here. So Mad Glogan should be able to get this next wave of spiders with no problem. And Mad Glogan pushing into that mid fort, really closing out some of that damage. And we're hoping to see, looks like they're looking for more. Spiders in the top and bottom lanes both have pretty beefy forts to deal with. Unlikely they will get in position to deal with keeps, but Mad Glogan not looking to fight here. They're up a level, but they're pretty close to 16. A couple waves in one of these forts should do it. So they have no interest in forcing the fight until they really need to. See them leaving at the first sign of trouble here, making sure they've got every advantage they can have. And that may cost them as a lot of damage comes out onto Magus. Ancestral repairs a great deal of it, but the turnaround's coming as Kurenai takes a lot of damage, but ultimately it's Leoric that falls first. And Ellie in a bit of trouble here, just able to mop up Malfurion. Magus falls too. Shiggity at critical health as well. Diablo spawns back at home. Nubarak falls. People dying left and right. But mostly on the side is Seraphim, as Ellie goes directly ham. And is that poison gonna be enough? Oh, it is. The poison does eat through the regeneration, and I guess that's a 4.5 for 3. It was kind of a weird takedown, but critically, while all that happened, bottom got pushed in quite hard, and that is going to spell the end of this this bottom wall here. So looking at the Carnage report, top lane has some damage on the wall, but not a whole lot. Mid lane's got its wall up, and bottom has no wall. And meanwhile, on the side of Mad Glogan, they've only lost one fort. So they're firmly in control of the structure so far in this game, as Seraphim once again are fairly far away from a turn-in, and Mad Glogan are just a couple waves off of theirs. But level 16 Advalent now available for Seraphim, so not the colossal advantage it once was. It's you know, certainly a fight they can take and win now, and I don't know. I'm not really sure what the correct play to do is here if you're Seraphim. So you don't see many folks on Mad Glogan, so it's reasonable to assume they're doing boss. So the correct play there is probably to mow through this fort for sure, make sure you can get it, and then try to get the turn in, try to continue pushing, clean up the keep. There's a lot of options, and none of them are really great. Some of them are just alright. So we do see them try and go through this Merc camp, clean it up on the way to defending boss in the top lane. And great timing again from Mad Glogan, 61 in gems in pocket. That would be just enough for the turn-in. And Seraphim in no position to delay or deny that. They have to respond to this boss up here in top. And so Mad Glogan very likely has this keep in hand. Although a huge Sundering comes out and just pumps damage onto Genji and Gul'dan. Is Magus going to be able to escape? No, and he's got a full respawn to contend with. So that's that might actually save this keep then. Boss fairly low. Genji in a bit of a spot, but he will be able to escape. It's always weird getting stuck at mid-dash. It's very clear what you're doing, and somehow Rhaegar was in the middle of that. I'm not really sure how he was there, or why he was there, or what moved him. Maybe there was just so many bodies and I couldn't see him. But Seraphim doing a nice job protecting their top keep. I was certain that was going to fall. But, the surprises continue. In fact, they don't suffer very much damage here in the bottom, and I don't think they're going to suffer any additional damage here in the bot lane. So really solid defense from Seraphim. Meanwhile, Genji looking to continue to poke and prod and just chip away any damage he can onto this this top keep. This is the easiest lane for Mad Glogan to win from, so if they can get that down, it gives them, you know, a rapid route to victory. See a lonesome Ellie trying to escape and elude, and that is something Genji excels at. Cooldowns briefly off. A lot of damage coming down onto both Diva and Leoric, but it's Magus who's going to be in the rough position. And Tomb used on a rubber duck. Apocalypse hits a couple people, but not too much. Diablo once again at critical health. Is he able to escape? Yes. No. The Chromie Blast winds up finishing him off, but Thrall just pushed too far out of position. Able to will be taken down. Livco. Oh, it's such critical health. Does manage to get the equalizer onto Genji. So good job from the rest of Seraphim forming that wall and ensuring that takedown equals takedown. And so a much needed reprieve for Seraphim as level 20 talents hit for Mad Glogan. So these spiders should not get a whole lot accomplished in terms of damaging structures, but they will buy time and allow the lanes to push a little bit to the right, which Seraphim needs every bit of as they look to get level 20s of their own. I don't think that bottom wave alone is going to do it. That tower might? The world will never know. But that tower might. No, just short. There comes the Entomb, the defensive matrix from D.Va, displaying a lot of this. Fear comes out, sending Shiggity to just the ends of the earth as the takedown does come out from Mad Glogan. So 1-0 so far, and that's...
It is over.
The silver lining is that Seraphim now has level 20 talents and didn't really use many ultimates to do that. So if they were caught right here, if there was an engagement happening, they would have some advantage to their name, but it's not something they definitely want. They have scouted out this Merc Camp Steel. It's unlikely that they're going to do anything to stop it, but at least they can put some damage out there while they've got vision. Mad Glogan rotating out. Once again, not a whole lot to do on the map. Boss is up in about 12 seconds, so that's something to consider, but an Uberak should be live by then, so it's certainly a riskier venture than going in there 5v4. So, doing some scouting, both teams keeping themselves honest, making sure no one's trying to nick the boss irresponsibly. And the map is just getting painted red as every Merc camp on the board goes to the side of Mad Glogan. Admittedly, that's only like 3, but that's still far more than Seraphim has right now. The engagement continues, a lot of damage coming out. A big sundering separates Mad Glogan to the 4 wins, but a bunch of damage coming out onto Kurenai. Is he going to be able to escape? No, and it's a 2-0 so far in favor of Mad Glogan. Sava at fairly critical health, and Uberak will get the takedown there, but it is going to cost them a D.Va. So it's now a 3-for-1 in favor of Mad Glogan, and they've got a mercenary camp in bottom. They're in hot pursuit of Shiggity. Shiggity trying to delay as much as possible. Does he have Burrow up? That's going to be his escape mechanism. If it's on cooldown, he might live through this yet. And there he goes up to the top lane. Able to mount up. I think he's... Oh, he doesn't quite have it. Diablo with the long range, the long range charge, able to get that. And so Siege Camp active, full team wipe for against Seraphim, but they will. Uberak was able to delay long enough to prevent this from just being a game loss. Although Mad Glogan is looking to close this out. Ford is, or Keep is taken down. Shields are dropping. Malfurion's up. Thrall's up. D.Va's going to be up in a few seconds. Ancestral popped on LA, but level 22. This Keep score is falling rather rapidly, and I don't think Seraphim has the tools to prevent this. So it is going to be a 2-to-1 advantage in this best-of-5 series as Mad Glogan takes game number 3. What a knockdown drag-out games are, as they tend to be on Tomb of the Spider Queen. But we'll I'm gonna take a brief 1 to 2 minute break just to wet my whistle a little bit, and we will be right back with Game 4. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
infernal shrines.
Do you hear that sound? That's game 4 of this best of 5 between Seraphim and Glogan. Or, I mean, maybe it's like a sound in your house, or your apartment, or wherever you're watching this. It could be on a phone. But it's probably the sound of Heroes of the Storm. We're coming into game 4 in this best of 5 on Infernal Shrines. I don't know how long I've been messing this team's name up, but Glogan leads the series 2-1, and with a win here, they would close it out. Seraphim took the very first game of the series, but has fallen down to 2-1, and with a win here, they would equalize it and send it screaming headlong into a 5th and final match, or a 5th and final game in the match. And credit to Glogan's Diablo in the last game, receiving first ban here on Infernal Shrines, which, I mean, certainly has value. I mean, there's plenty of walls to trigger the stun, but I'm sure there's plenty of haunting memories of long-range Diablos coming in to just, you know, just to perform some detonations. And so here's some exciting stuff. A first pick Ariel on Infernal Shrines from Seraphim, who was first pick, meaning they have 2 picks coming right after this before the bans. Uther and Uberak picked up from Glogan. Is there a chance that we see Cho'Gall here? The only other time tonight I've seen a first pick Ariel was followed by Cho and then very rapidly by Gall. But again, that's not a requirement. There's a lot of other very efficient hope batteries for Ariel. But it's just always exciting to have Cho'Gall in the game, and it makes it a lot easier to cast because you can just point the camera at Cho'Gall and the action's going to be around him. However it shakes out. Taking a lot of time to think about this. Opting not to go for that instead, going for Mecha Tassadar, distinctly different from Protoss Tassadar, and Deputy Gunsmith Vala. So got the battery for Ariel, got the protection for Vala, got the healing from Ariel. So they've got the Triforce of damage and healing and space shields ready to go, so they can plug that core into a lot of different front lines to really start putting out some damage. Diva the ban, or I'm sorry, Arthas the ban from Glogan. Checked my mic, not muted, 100%. Go Terraspaz. Chromie Hovered is the ban for Seraphim, and it's a pretty reasonable pick. 3 of their heroes so far don't have a lot of health pools, and if you don't see the problem coming at you, either her Q or her W, then you can get taken out very quickly by surprise. So but there's somebody that does that even worse, because he can continue pursuing, and he can go fast, and he can get resets. And so Genji's ultimately going to be the ban from Seraphim, which means I think he's been picked or banned every game I've watched tonight. And I guess it's true. He is absolutely nuts when played well and with the right enablers. Pick now active for Glogan.
Your
And so with their Anubarak Uther, they're going to scoop up a Greymane. And probably some range damage, some strictly range damage. Yeah, there's Masquerade. I don't think I've ever seen that skin before. I wonder if it's new. But go into the Jester's Ball, Li Ming ready to deal out some punishment, because that's what the things are called in this map. They're punishers. That's how it goes. And another truckload of damage coming out in the form of Kel'Thas. And you know, if you're fighting on circles, putting circles on the ground that deal damage is a pretty solid tactic.
Unbridled energy.
So I really like the. Really excited to see the Kerrigan pick. It's been a long time since. Kerrigan was always, touted as, the thing you go to on Infernal Shrines. You can just bounce between little dudes. You can, quickly reset it, do it for free mana, get health while you do it. It was nuts. It was bonkers. Enemies come through in a choke. You can grab and stun them. I mean, there was nothing Kerrigan couldn't do on this map. But she'd fallen out of favor for a while. Either because of some patches that maybe changed her, or maybe there's new heroes that did what she did but better, or just ignored what she did and killed her. But it's nice to see her back, and hopefully we can hopefully the Queen of Blades can have a good showing. And we are live for Game 4 of this Best of 5 here between Mod Glogan on the red team, who is comprised of LA on Li Ming, Stu Crab on Uther, Magus on Anubarak, Sava on Kerrigan, and Santa Claus on Greymane. On the blue team, trying to keep their tournament hope alive, Seraphim has DJ Hellscream on Vala, Elivko on Kel'Thas, Kuranai on Ariel, Shiggity on Johanna, and a Rubber Duck on Tassadar. Gates are down, teams are going across a charred hellscape of war to fight each other on the field, and finding nobody. There's no fighting today. Except for Tassadar shooting a beam and Anubarak doing, I'm going to say, no damage. But now we have fighting. Technically counts as fighting. Meanwhile, the rotation comes down hard onto Shiggity. We see the Kerrigan combo whip through the Iron Skin. Good use of trait there from Shiggity. It's not on the biggest cooldown in the world. It's free in terms of mana, and it makes sure you don't get rotated on. Speaking of rotating, here comes the rotation up through mid. A lot of damage coming down onto DJ Hellscream. Will get taken out. Will Tassadar fall as well? A Rubber Duck able to dodge and shield well. But critically, that means that power triangle is going to suffer, as there is no good damage source for Ariel until Vala returns, which will be probably about 10-15 seconds as she walks across the map. And so Ariel can just push and whip things for a bit, but really can't offer any healing until Vala returns. Meanwhile, Livko caught out against Li Ming caught out against LA and Magus as they just isolate and detonate, scoring a really quick 2 kills in this match, but not really enjoying much of an experience lead. In fact, if anything, they're very, very slightly ahead here. But this wave should, this wave right run into the towers. Well, Shiggity able to scoop up that experience. So, small lead for Mod Glogan. They will hit level 4 talents fairly briefly before this hits, but Mod Glogan starting to go to town on these minions. We see Sava Kerrigan bouncing between minions means as her heart desires. Totally ignoring a Rubber Duck's Tassadar beam. And actually Seraphim's able to establish themselves fairly well as Greymane has to back away, as does Kerrigan for health reasons. They're actually able to take the lead here. So it's all going to be a matter of can Glogan get the initiation they want, get the takedown. They almost get Livco. Can he escape? Yes. Can DJ Hellscream escape? Yes, but that Gilnean cocktail does secure the takedown on Kael'thas. And now Glogan is in control, getting the takedown on Tassadar. Kurenai sure to fall as well. And DJ Hellscream vaults herself to safety. And Glogan will be able to clean this up and get the ones they need. Mortar Punisher awarded to Glogan, pushing down on the bottom lane. You see Greymane heading off to go get some experience to extend this lead. Glogan currently leads by about a level and a half. But critically, all the damage is on hand for Seraphim, so they will be able to blow up this Punisher before Glogan can continue to pursue and take down this fort. So, all in all, reasonable defense. A lot of damage on DJ Hellscream, though, and no hope in hand for Kurenai. Very aggressive hearth from Glogan, being just outside of harm's reach. I gotta say, I really dig these Angry Clouds. These are just the absolute best thing. Anyway, big rotation coming down from Seraphim to the bottom lane. Glogan responds in kind, gets the Kerrigan combo on Auriel and Kael'thas. Kael'thas falls. Kurenai looking to get enough hope on cooldown, unable to heal herself. Tassadar gets taken out across the map, so 3 for nothing. And Glogan is just in absolute control of this map. See the loop around from Glogan as they invade the Merc camp on Seraphim's side of the map. This is really strong timing because I think the next Punisher should be spawning pretty soon. But maybe not soon enough. Seraphim should be able to clean this up rather quickly. Combo goes down. Hellscream almost able to escape. Doesn't quite, as Glogan just absolutely envelops Bala there. And Glogan 2 levels up. Heroics should come online during this objective fight, and I'm not sure what Seraphim's best plan is here. They need to, I guess they need to ensure they're getting experience as fast as possible, and I don't know if Kerrigan combo active eliminating Kael'thas. Glogan starting to pressure the bottom lane. Nobody's activated the objective yet. Heroics are online for Glogan. Divine Shield used just to make sure Kerrigan wasn't put in a particularly tight spot there, but she, whether she needed it or not, it definitely meant she can engage very fearlessly. And this is sort of the story of the match here. 10-0 in terms of takedowns for Glogan, and it's about to be 11-0 as Tassadar caught out by Nubarak and Li Ming, just stunned and blown up, and that's just been happening over and over and over. So Glogan will get this uncontested. Seraphim trying to just apply some pressure somewhere on the map to try and get something going. And it looks like they're just going to push with it. A lot of free tower shots going on to DJ Hellscream, but Auriel should have plenty of hope to take that up. And it doesn't matter if he gets taken off by Santa Claus. Santa Claus comes in and takes out Bala, also gets the kill on Kurenai. And So 13-0 in terms of takedowns. Sava going absolute ham, just diving where she wants, paying absolutely no regard to any possibility of danger, as both Vala and Ariel are off the board, and Kelthus is in a known location far away. Turn their sights back on this top fort. No keeps down, so Seraphim's still in this. But their window is rapidly closing as Johanna gets taken out as well. Punisher punishing the walls of the top keep. Damage going down onto DJ Hellscream that should be able to burn down this Punisher. And level 13 talent advantage for Mod Glogan, but Heroics now online for Seraphim. We'll see what they can do with it. Not a whole lot so far, as Magus does take a lot of damage in his escape. Force Wall to try and initiate on Ellie. Living Bomb active on her, not a scathing amount of damage, and this is a devious trap set up by Sava, but sussed out correctly by Seraphim. Nothing happening today. Ellie looking for the kill shot on a Rubber Duck. Can he get it? No, just barely squeaks by, and instead it's Ellie that will suffer the takedown. So this is how comebacks start. It starts with one kill, and then it proceeds from there. So we'll see if Seraphim can continue to capitalize. So Pyroblast in the hand for Kelthus, and that could be very handy in a game where there's no Genji and no variant. There's a very strong chance that whoever you're hitting is either getting damaged or drawing out ult from Uther. But there it goes, on to Kerrigan, making sure that Maelstrom is just as impactful as possible. Crystal Aegis on Kelthus to keep him alive. Is it going to be for naught? Yes. So he will suffer a takedown. A Rubber Duck soon to follow suit. Kurenai looking for an escape route, but there doesn't seem to be one, as Mod Glogan just absolutely envelops Kurenai. And the thrashing continues. Mod Glogan pushing down some structures here in the mid lane. Shrine going to be active in just a second or two, and it looks like Kerrigan, only Kerrigan, is going to be at that, cleaning up minions just as fast as she can push the Q button. And of note, there's not a lot of mana left on Anubarak or Greymane, so despite being down a talent advantage, there's not a lot of clock left for Seraphim. They're going to need to... The farther behind you get, the more risks you have to take in order to try and establish a foothold. Even if there's like a 90% chance of a plan failing, it's better than a 0% chance if you do nothing. So Arcane Punisher active for Mod Glogan, level 13. I don't believe will be active for Seraphim for this. So very strong engagement for Mod Glogan. Doesn't often get better than this. Here comes the engagement. Crystal Aegis popped to try to keep Hellscream alive, but won't work. A lot of damage coming out onto Santa Claus and Sava, but ultimately not enough to matter. Kurenai just absolutely blown up out of the cocoon, and 3-0 in favor of Mod Glogan. Punisher still active. Arcane Beams ripping apart the bottom keep here, and I wonder if Mod Glogan has the gas in order to close this out. Seraphim is going to be spawning very soon. It looks like they are going to go for it. They get the pick on Kelthus. They almost get Hellscream, able to get back with the Hollow Storm. Santa Claus at pretty low health. Stew Crab falling low as well, and so this may be a one-way trip if they can't get the takedowns, but they do. Only Ariel and Vala remains. But the core, with nothing else to shoot that, is dealing the damage, and Magus will fall. So Seraphim manages to hang on, but just so, as Mod Glogan racks up a 23-2 takedown advantage. But crucially, Seraphim didn't suffer any core damage. So again, one person out of position, one one catastrophic team fight, and they can turn this around. But they certainly have their work cut out for them. And I remember back when, like, knowing how to do a Kerrigan combo was enough to just catapult you through Hero League. And now it's haven't seen enough Bull carry. Damage comes out. Maelstrom is popped. Can't quite connect onto a lot of people, trying to get the last remnants of it onto Tassadar, but it doesn't matter as the follow-up is there on Vala and Tassadar and Ariel and Johanna, and that should be enough to close this out. Glogan looking to just bust through this mid wall here. Are they looking to take down the keep as well? It looks like they are. Not looking to take any risks, knowing that the minion wave isn't particularly close, and they're not. I mean, they're not in any danger of a counterattack with all of their forts remaining, and they can just play the long game and ensure that they get every advantage they can and make this as difficult for Seraphim to move as possible. And this is, other than, aside from losing the game, this is one of the worst situations that Seraphim could opt for. There's going to be a Punisher barreling down in the top lane. Their over-leveled opponent is already set up there, and there's going to be catapults pushing in the opposite two lanes. And so there's just too many problems. Seraphim can't solve them all right now. But if they could get this pick on Li Ming, that would be how this starts. They already know they don't have a chance to get the Punisher. That one's already gone. But if they could get Li Ming, if they could start staggering deaths, then that's really the only route to victory they've got left. And so they started off by killing Li Ming. Big, like 50-second death timer, so they're going to be going into this 5v4. And if they can get this and save the keep, then they can just turn around and start putting some aggression into either mid or bottom and simultaneously attack while enabling their defense. Good phase shift from Rubber Duck avoiding that. Pyroblast targeted onto Kerrigan, takes about half of her life away, but Punisher going to town, that keep will fall. And there are no structures left on the board except for that little tower to target except for the core, and the Punisher has said, I've had it, enough of this, I'm tired of being trapped, I'm going to punch your building to death. But the hard follow-up from Glogan does not seem to be there immediately, but it comes in here after the fact. They do get the takedown on Tassadar. I don't see Kurenai living through this much easier, but turns out I'm wrong, and in fact it's going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Seraphim. So this is not... Critically, this is enough for them to keep on in the game. There are no structures left for them. They've got... now there are no structures left for them. There's going to be catapults in every lane, and all the lanes are pushed crazy hard. I'm not sure what took out Kelthus there. I guess it was a sneaky attack from Li Ming, but so that's... I'm trying to figure out how what route to victory Seraphim's got to come back into this. They can grab the bottom siege camp. It'll push a little bit, but Glogan will be back in time to pretty quickly defend that. And they're actually going to be undermanned for about 10 seconds while Uther comes back to the fight and Kelthus is not. So fighting a man down into a level 20 advantage is probably the best plan, is just to pull back as close to the core as possible and just soak experience. But Tassadar winds up getting taken out. I'm not sure who's in the cocoon, but I'm sure they're in for a bad time as Vala gets taken out. It's Ariel. She doesn't have the tools to get away from everybody. Stun comes out from Uther, then another stun comes out from Uther. Crystal Aegis will delay the inevitable. And a 4-for-0 with only Johanna here to defend. I don't see how this match continues as Mod Glogan look to complete the team wipe. Catapults closing in and from all sides, and that is almost without question going to be the game and the match go into favor of Mod Glogan. It's been some really excellent work on some very technical heroes. Saw some great Abathur play tonight. Saw some excellent Kerrigan stuff. Chagall Ariel was just buckets of fun, but just an excellent clinic on Heroes of the Storm from both these teams, especially. You know, a lot of those games went back and forth so much. I mean, this was probably the only fairly lopsided matchup they have. I mean, Cursed Hollow and Tomb of the Spider